He told my second daughter, Ngozi, who was just 9 years old at the time, "You are a waste, a total waste like your mother. I regret the day you were born." The final blow came that rainy night. It was around 8 p.m. I was rushed to the hospital. As I lay there, fighting for my life, my husband Emeka was outside, dancing and shouting like a madman. "Come and see, oh, my son is here. My fifth child, a boy, is here." Nwokedim, the doctor tried to calm him down, to tell him the truth, but Emeka didn't want to hear anything. He kept shouting, "My prince, oh, my prince has come." After 4 girls, but the baby was not a boy. It was a girl. And when the doctor finally told Emeka, everything changed. Where is that cursed woman? That woman that wants to end my lineage? That failure of a woman? Yes, my dear husband Emeka called me a failure of a woman because I just gave birth to our fifth child, our fifth daughter. While I was lying in the ward, dying, he didn't come to see me. He didn't come to hold my hand or pray for me. He went outside and told everyone who came to celebrate with him that I had failed him again. My mother was there. She wept like a child. She begged him to calm down, to be thankful that both mother and baby survived. He looked her in the eyes and said, "Take your daughter away. Let her go and raise her fellow girls." He left me in the hospital. He didn't pay the bills, didn't come back to pick us. My uncle had come from Unewi to take care of me and the baby. He paid for the hospital bills. That was even the beginning of the storm. At that point, honestly, I thought of leaving the marriage. But I didn't want my girls to grow up without their father in their life. I didn't want to be a single mother because I don't even have a means of taking care of 5 children. Even though Emeka was being rude to me and the girls, at least we still have a roof over our head. And then my uncle took us back home. After much plea, Emeka accepted me and the girls back home. From then on, every time I tried so hard to get pregnant again. I didn't even mind, even though I give birth to 15 children. The most important thing is that I'm looking for a male child. I got pregnant for the 6th time. And every time I got pregnant, he would treat me like trash until the baby came, waiting to see if it would finally be a baby boy. And then, unfortunately, it wasn't. It's a baby girl. I tried for the 7th time. And again, the same thing happened. I had my 7th daughter. He beat me. He spat on me. He told my daughters that they were better off dead than being girls. He once said to my 6-year-old, "You are the reason your mother is useless." What kind of father says that? And yet, I stayed because I didn't want my children to grow up without a father. The insults continued. He would say to me, "You are just here giving me girls like chicken. You think you've achieved something? 7 girls, Ifoma. You are a disgrace. God punished the day I married you, Ifoma. You are the one blocking my blessings." He began calling our daughters names right in front of them. "Move from there, you useless girl. Don't touch my phone with your cursed hands. Your presence alone irritates me," he would say to my girls. He told my second daughter, Ngozi, who was just 9 years old at the time, "You are a waste, a total waste like your mother. I regret the day you were born." The final blow came that rainy night. It was around 8 p.m. The rain had soaked our leaking roof. I had just bathed the younger girls, and they were sitting quietly on the mat while I warmed some rice with firewood. Then Emeka came in, drunk. He didn't greet. He didn't say a word. Just staggered into the room, grabbed a big yellow container, and poured urine on me and the girls. Yes, you heard me. Urine. He had peed into the container and saved it. The smell filled the room. My daughter screamed. My youngest, who was just 3 years old, kept asking, "Mommy, what is this?" I stood there, shaking, crying, soaked, humiliated. That night, something in me died. But something also woke up, the fighter in me. I couldn't take it anymore. And I said to Emeka, "Emeka, how can you pour urine on your own children?" And his response to me was this: "Did you just say children? Are these ones children? They're as good as dead. And they're as good as me pouring more and more urine on them." It was so painful. I cried bitterly with my children. I regretted the first day I set my eyes on Emeka. The next morning, Emeka left the house. Days later, I heard he moved in with a woman in a nearby village who had just given birth to a baby boy. He told people, "Now I have a real child, a child that carries my name." He said I was a witch, that I was cursed. I was alone. No money, no help. 7 girls looking up at me. There were days I would look at their faces and just cry silently. But I remembered my mother's words. When life pushes you down, don't stay on the floor. Rise. I sold my best wrapper for 2,500 naira. I used it to start roasting corn and pear by the roadside. I carried my baby on my back and held my toddler in one hand. Some days we would only eat garri and salt. Other days we would drink water and sleep. But I didn't give up. One woman who loved my roasted corn later offered me a job in her school kitchen. I said yes with tears in my eyes. From that job, I started earning small money. I paid school fees. I bought second-hand clothes for my girls. Later, I opened a food shop. From that shop, I opened another one. Fast forward to 10 years later, Chisom, my first daughter, is now in university studying law. Ngozi is learning fashion design. The others are doing well in school. We don't sleep on mats anymore. We don't beg for food. I now run one of the biggest food businesses in town. People call me Mama Girls. I built a house for me and my daughters. Last year, Emeka came back begging. He looked so thin, sick, and broken. The woman he left us for had abandoned him. The son he chased after was never his. Emeka came to beg. "Ifeoma, please forgive me. I made a mistake." I looked at him, and yes, I forgave him, but I told him, "You can't live with us. You lost that chance a long time ago." I protected my daughters. I chose peace, and we lived happily ever after. Sisters, if you are listening to me, please know this. It's not your fault. You did not choose the gender of your child. Children, boys or girls, are gifts from God. If your husband or family is treating you badly because you gave birth to girls, please don't keep quiet. Speak up. Start small. Sell something. Learn a skill. Do something. Don't wait until you are broken beyond repair. You may be weak now, but you are not finished. You may be crying today, but joy will come. Most importantly, never believe you are useless. You are not. You are powerful. You are worthy. You are enough. No woman deserves to be hated for bringing life into the world. Your daughters can grow up to be queens. And you, my sister, you can rise from ashes and build a kingdom. Children are a gift from God, a boy or a girl. Any man who does not love his children because of their gender is not worthy to be called a father. Women are not baby factories. Chiamaka got married to her longtime sweetheart, Ebuka. Plenty people brought gifts. They packed most of the gifts and said, "We will open everything when we return from honeymoon." One small gift box caught Chiamaka's attention that day. It was neatly wrapped, but very light. She opened it out of curiosity and found just one broomstick, a single stick. She turned it left and right. No notes, no name, no card. Just one long broomstick inside an empty box. Is this a joke? Maybe someone is trying to play a prank, she told her husband. Ebuka laughed and said, "Maybe they are just saying you will sweep your husband's heart clean." They both joked about it and moved on. She kept the box in her storeroom. She couldn't throw it away, but she didn't know why. After 1 year of marriage, no sign of pregnancy. People were patient. It's normal now. First year of marriage is for enjoyment. Even her mother-in-law didn't bother her. By the second year, pressure started. They did tests. Chiamaka was fine. Ebuka was fine. Doctors said there's nothing wrong with both of you. Just keep trying. But try, they did. By the third year, the atmosphere changed. Her once sweet mother-in-law began to throw shade. "Are you feeding my son well? Are you sure there's no abortion in your past? Women from your hometown has womb issues, oh. I told my son Ebuka when he brought you for marriage, but he wouldn't listen." Chiamaka cried silently every night. She started taking fertility teas from every vendor in the market. As if that wasn't enough, her close friend Ngozi gave birth to her second child and called Chiamaka on video call. Not to say hi, but to show off her baby. "Hey, yeah, God will do it for you too," she said with a fake smile. That night, Chiamaka broke down in tears. She cried so much until her pillow was wet. She told her husband, "I don't know who I have offended. Everybody is moving forward except me." Another day in a salon where Chiamaka went to make her hair. While waiting for her turn, one of the women in the salon whispered loudly to another, "That's the one they said has been married for years, oh. No child, oh. I hear she used to run things in school." The other woman giggled. All these slave queens of those days, they've used their womb for flexing. Now they want to be mothers. Chiamaka pretended not to hear, but her heart was broken. She didn't even finish her hair. She just left the salon quietly. The one that broke her heart the most was in church, during the Women's Fellowship, during a group announcement for Mother's Sunday. Chiamaka volunteered to help coordinate. One of the elder women stood up and said, "Let those who are real mothers handle it. This is not for everybody." Another woman added with fake politeness, "Sister Chiamaka, maybe you can help with decoration outside, not the main planning." Everyone knew what they meant. She smiled and nodded, but when she got home, she wept into her pillow. The next one that happened was the height of it. Chiamaka's friend Ngozi was having her third baby. So, Chiamaka was invited for the baby shower. As they were playing games and singing, someone called out, "Let us pray for our dear sister, Sister Chiamaka. Her own will come one day. Maybe next year, that is if she even sees it." Some women started whispering. Others started laughing. She's always attending other baby showers. When will people attend hers safe? Is it just to go for baby dedications, baby naming ceremonies, and baby showers and be eating people's rice up and down? Can't she get pregnant so we can also come and eat her own rice? Don't worry, just keep sowing seeds. Chiamaka felt like a charity case. She forced a laugh but had to leave early. Her heart was broken. One night, Chiamaka had a dream. She was standing at the altar with her husband, and a woman in all black came and dropped a small brown bus between them, then vanished. She woke up sweating. She ran to the store, opened the old wedding bus, and found that same broomstick. Something clicked in her spirit. She called her grandma the next morning and described the bus and broomstick. Her grandma paused and said, "Ha, that is a spiritual token, a sign of division and dryness." Chiamaka didn't take chances. She and Ebuka started fasting. They prayed at midnight. Every evil gift is broken. They kept on praying. 3 months later, Chiamaka missed her period for the first time in 5 years. She took the test positive. She later realized that the person who gifted her that box that contained a broomstick was her friend who had eyes for Ebuka. She gifted Chiamaka that box that was spiritually made to tie her womb. She said if she can't have Ebuka, Chiamaka won't have kids for Ebuka. But thank God, with prayers, Chiamaka succeeded and won the battle. They burnt the gift box with his broomstick, and everything went back to normal. 9 months later, Chiamaka gave birth to a bouncing baby boy. The church rejoiced, and her enemies were put to shame. Her mother-in-law came rejoicing. "Finally, my daughter-in-law has given me a child." And Chiamaka and Ebuka lived happily ever after. The moral of this story is this: not every gift is ordinary. Always pray over what people give you, especially during weddings and celebrations. Spiritual attacks can come in small hidden ways. Be very sensitive and prayerful. Don't trust every smiling friend. Envy is real, especially when you are happy. Delay is not denial. With prayer and persistence, closed doors will open. Marriage without spiritual covering can be exposed to battles. Cover your home in prayers. Her mother was a strong church woman. Ifeoma was just 16. Her mom respected Pastor Shola so much that she was always sending Ifeoma to Pastor Shola's house. "Ifeoma, go and give Pastor Shola food, though. You know his wife and children are not with him. We need to take care of him as our pastor." And Ifeoma always took food to Pastor Shola. But each time she gets to Pastor Shola's house, he will call her into his room. Ifeoma, being a young and naive girl, at first didn't understand what Pastor Shola meant. And she entered into Pastor Shola's room. Lo and behold, Pastor Shola started touching her in places that he shouldn't. Ifeoma tried to resist, but Pastor Shola held her down. He forced himself on Ifeoma, but he warned her, "Do not tell anyone about this." No, Ifeoma cried in pain. When she got home, she met her mother in the living room. "Pastor Shola, Pastor Shola." But before she could finish her statement, her mother snapped. "Come on, keep quiet. Pastor Shola what? I sent you to give Pastor Shola food. You left there and went to play with your friends. Stupid girl. Enter the kitchen and start making dinner, my friend." Ifeoma tried to explain to her mother what exactly had happened, but her mother won't even give her a listening ear. Ifeoma went into the kitchen and cried in pain. She cried so hard and kept to herself because her dear mother wouldn't even listen to her or notice her mood. The next time, Ifeoma's mother sent her to Pastor Shola's house again. Ifeoma tried to explain to her mother what happened the last time. "Mama, please, I don't want to go there." But her mother wouldn't listen. "Come on, get out of this place and go and do exactly what I told you to do." And out of fear, Ifeoma left for Pastor Shola's house again. When she arrived there, Pastor Shola was already waiting for her in his room. Immediately she stepped in. Pastor Shola grabbed her, held her so tight with all his might. Ifeoma struggled hard, but couldn't overpower Pastor Shola. And Pastor Shola forced himself on Ifeoma. Ifeoma cried in pains, but Pastor Shola refused to listen to Ifeoma's cry. After that, as usual, Pastor Shola warned her not to tell anyone. That day, Ifeoma got home. Again, she tried to explain to her mother, but her mother refused to listen. Why? Because it was Pastor Shola. This continued to happen, and before Ifeoma could know it, she was pregnant. When Ifeoma's stomach began to grow, her mother noticed. She cried and shouted at Ifeoma. She couldn't believe it. "You have disgraced me. My enemies will laugh at me. Look at you. I'm a single mother. Because of you, I am not married up till now. I suffered to raise you, and this is how you want to pay me?" Ifeoma tried to explain to her mother that it was Pastor Shola, but she wouldn't listen. Instead of helping her daughter, she chased Ifeoma away, sent her to her maternal village. "Go to your grandmother's place. I can't face church people." That day, Ifeoma packed her few clothes and left, carrying her pain and unborn baby, without her mother paying attention to what exactly is going on in her daughter's life. In the village, life was hard. She stayed with her grandmother, Mama Iya, an old woman with no money and no pity. There was no love. People called her names. Even her grandmother would say, "Shameless girl, no one will marry you again." After 9 months, she gave birth to a baby girl. She named her Chinaza. Ifeoma struggled to take care of baby Chinaza because her grandmother wouldn't even assist, neither will anybody in the village. They believed she was a spoiled child from the city and didn't deserve assistance. Just 1 year later, Chinaza fell sick. There was no money for hospital, no proper food, no one to help. One cold night, the baby cried and cried, then kept quiet. She was gone. The baby died. Ifeoma cried for days. She didn't eat. She didn't talk. Why me? What did I do wrong? Her world shattered completely. Back in the city, Pastor Shola continued with his wicked acts, forcing himself on other young girls. And one day, a neighbor sneaked in and caught him red-handed. Pastor Shola was arrested and was sent to jail. Ifeoma's mother then realized that she had made a terrible mistake. She tried to apologize to her daughter Ifeoma, but Ifeoma wasn't ready to listen. She was too pained. Years passed, the pain remained. Ifeoma is now trying to stand on her feet. She started learning how to make hair from a small salon in town and then saving little by little to open her own salon. She talks to any young girl she finds herself around, and she says to them, "Don't be deceived by fake pastors or fake brothers. Be very careful and learn to stand up for yourself, fight for yourself, speak up for yourself when the need arises." And now, Ifeoma is rebuilding her life step by step. And that is how the story of Ifeoma ended. Now, the moral of this story is this, my dear viewers. Parents, please don't throw away your daughters when they fall. Correct them in love, not in shame. Not every man in church is godly. Use wisdom, not just trust. One mistake does not mean the end of your life. You can rise again. You can heal. There's time for everything. My dear listeners, let's teach our daughters the truth and love them through their mistakes. That's the only way to build strong women. This is Ifeoma's heartbreaking story of love, betrayal, rejection, and healing. Her pain is real. Her scars are deep, but her courage to move forward is inspiring. Kindly share this video. You could be saving someone close to you or yourself. She was 22, kind-hearted and known for her soft smile. But one evening, her world broke. It happened on her way home from Nkem's house. Nkem, her friend. The Okoro brothers, 3 sons of a rich man in town, stopped their car beside her. They were known in the village. They told her to enter the car. "No, thank you," she said. But they got out. One held her hand. Another blocked the path. They dragged her into the car. They drove to an empty house. And they hurt her, one after the other. She begged. She cried. She fought. But no one came. No one heard her. They dropped her on the roadside around midnight and drove off like nothing happened. Amaka crawled home in pains. When her mother saw her, she screamed, "Amaka, my daughter, who did this?" But Amaka couldn't speak. She didn't say a word. No. From that day, Amaka changed. She stopped smiling. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't look at herself in the mirror. She began to lose weight. She fainted one morning while washing clothes. At the hospital, the doctor said her body is weak, but what is hurting her is not just sickness. Something deeper is going on. The doctor carried out some tests and realized that Amaka was pregnant. On hearing this news, Amaka's life shattered all over again. She cried. She was devastated. "Oh God, I don't deserve this." She was afraid of calling the names of those that did this to her because they were from a very influential family. Her mother was devastated as well. She cried along with her daughter because where would they start from? But they went back home, planning on how Amaka would give birth to the child. One night, Amaka tried to drink a whole bottle of sleeping pills. She wrote a short note, "I don't want to feel this anymore." But her best friend Nkem arrived just in time. She found Amaka on the floor. They rushed her back to the hospital, held her hand as she cried like a baby. The doctor, Dr. Chinedu, added softly, "Amaka, do you want to talk? Open up. Don't worry, we are here for you." For the first time, Amaka nodded slowly and whispered. It was Kelechi and his brothers. Her story shocked everyone. Mama Okoro brothers were rich and powerful. Their father had friends in high places. Some said she was lying. She wanted it. Why didn't she report it that night? Amaka almost went silent again. They confronted the Okafor brothers, but they denied it, claiming that they've never met Amaka before. But one woman came forward, Ezinne, a rape survivor from another village. And she said, "Amaka, I know how it feels when people blame the victim, but don't let them bury your voice. You didn't ask for this." With the help of Ezinne and Dr. Chinedu, Amaka started therapy. They assisted her with the pregnancy until it was 9 months. Unfortunately, she had a stillbirth and lost the baby. Amaka cried again, not because she lost the baby, but because of all the pregnancy stress and trauma she has been going through for the past few months. But her mother stood by her, and Dr. Chinedu, and Ezinne, and she continued her therapy. She cried during every section. She talked about the guilt, the shame, the flashbacks. She drew pictures of her pain. She wrote it in a small blue notebook. One day, she wrote this line, "It was not my fault." That was the first step. 1 year later, one of the Okoro brothers, the youngest, came forward. He had given his life to God and confessed in public. "I was part of it, oh," he cried. "We did it. She didn't lie.
We forced her. We took advantage of her. The truth shook the whole town. People apologized. Some wept. The other two brothers were later arrested. And even the third one, the one that gave his life to Christ, was also arrested and sent to jail. Today, Amaka teaches in a small school for girls. She runs a program called Name It's Not Your Fault, where survivors can speak, cry, and heal. She wears bright clothes again. She dances again. She even smiles again. This time, from her soul. She once thought her life had ended, but now she says, what they tried to destroy has become my strength.